to the Barrel Roll Newscast.
For September 7th.
2012. It's
Thunderstorm.
Storm of the Thunder.
If you
Yeah.
don't watch our newscast on a regular basis, we are back at school.
A little bit at school. It's a little bit school. It's a little bit like school.
Yes. So,
This is not a green screen effect either.
it's not. This is actually our fancy filming spot that we have.
We could probably make this a regular.
I'm pretty sure we could.
I don't think my associates would be opposed to it.
No, we can just book this all the time.
Unofficially.
I mean,
Officially.
build this every week
Dibs.
because we constructed everything you see before you.
Dibs.
So,
Yes.
what have you been up to?
I've been up to a lot. What have you been up to?
I've been up to school,
School?
and not too many games.
Not too many. Yeah, me either.
Um,
Anything? Whoa! I did not see that coming. Maybe that's why they don't have leaning chairs on news.
Maybe just hope.
Everything's so great.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything you've been doing?
I've been playing Dead Island, which I keep mistaking for Left 4 Dead.
It's like Borderlands, but Left 4 Dead.
To me, it's boring.
It's pretty thin.
I
mean,
you have to watch it's one of those games where you have to watch the opening cutscene. Like, the one that you normally press start through, because it's just like, oh, here's some scenes from the
It's a
game.
cutscene.
Yeah, it has no bearing on the story.
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore. This one has a bearing slightly on the story.
Okay.
It introduces you kind of to, the guy from Louisiana, or New Orleans, whose, I think, parents were drug addicts.
Well, you choose between.
There's 4
a couple,
people. Yeah,
a couple characters.
and there's the guy from New Orleans who's whose parents were the drug addict, and he was a problem child for, like, he stole and did all this stuff, and I think he's some kind of DJ now.
Mm-hmm.
There's the ex-football player who got caught doing so many drugs, he nearly died and blah 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 blah. But he's an alcoholic and he doesn't care, and he's still popular, so now he just cruises around and gets people to buy him drinks at, like, resorts. There's the 2 women who I kind of checked out, but each one of them has a different stat. So the football player's good at stabbing, the one chick's good at shooting,
Yeah.
the other chick's good at something else, I forgot.
Probably
And
running.
no, they're all weapon based.
Okay, so
specialities, and the guy I picked.
So probably like slashing. One's like a club. One's like.
And one guy's heavy weapons, one guy's shooting, one guy's, I think the chick's light weapons. The one lady's light weapons. So I'm like, well, I like bashing things, and I figured in a zombie apocalypse it is good to bash things.
I like
with heavy objects.
Yes, that's effective.
I think that's an effective.
As opposed, short of bullet to the head.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure how many guns there are, so I didn't really want to go with the person who was good with guns.
And that the problem is, like, you have to find ammo for guns.
So I'm like, I would rather just be able to pick up a piece of wood and smack a zombie over the head.
That's generally what everyone else is doing in that game.
But there's issues, clipping issues, and hitbox issues.
I thought the game just moved slow.
And yeah, to me,
it moves really slow for a zombie game, especially from the onslaught. Because this came out when Left 4 Dead was in its peak of its prime.
Yes, Left 4 Dead was doing its thing, and I mean, Left 4 Dead is really fast paced. This is trying to.
It's more strategic, I think.
And they give you a stamina bar,
mm-hmm.
So you can't, like, just keep swinging at a zombie.
Or running or jumping.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's like maybe Oblivion.
No, it's its own kind of thing. But to me, I don't know. I can hit a zombie more than 10 times before getting overly tired, and this guy who's got muscles bigger than his face seems to tire out after about 6 whacks.
I don't know, I mean, zombies are pretty rigid, rigor mortis.
So, yeah, but I mean, he, like, explodes one of their head, like, right through their skull, and then he goes on to the next guy, and he's like, and I'm like, seriously, you can't even, like, hold the ore out to, like, keep them away? Like, you're that tired that it's just like, and arms drop, and
well, isn't that by Turbine?
I'm not.
No, not Turbine. Turbine's an MMO game company.
I'm not sure.
But it's their only game, I think. It's one of those. It was one of those vaporware games.
Well, and I mean, they released that and I mean that's the other thing too. They released that trailer.
The slow-mo trailer.
That was gorgeous.
Oh my god, it was.
The game looks nothing like that trailer.
So like an MMO.
Yeah. So, but yeah, to me, and then you can play online, There's online multiplayer,
Mhm.
and yesterday, because it doesn't ask, it's not like it goes, do you want to play online, do you want to play by yourself, what options do you want here? It just set me right to online.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
I was running around, and all of a sudden I saw this other person running across a bridge,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, who was that? Like, I thought it was story based, and I started like hauling butt after this person, and then I finally caught up, and I pressed the action button. Well, you want to trade with this person? And I'm like, but no.
All that effort just to try and trade.
Well, yeah, and all of a sudden I figured out it was an actual person.
Well, I think the way that it integrates the single player with multiplayer is kind of a good idea. It's unique.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I was wanting to play that way, that'd be cool.
As long as they don't affect your game world, I think.
But they do, they totally do.
Like they
Like
don't.
she can like smoke the crap out of zombies. I could have been, off swimming in a swimming pool, and she could have been like clearing out entire sections of the.
Well, that's a neat idea, though. I just think.
It is, but there's a leveling system too. So the more zombies you kill, the better you, like the more you level.
Yeah.
So you want to be killing
Zombies.
zombies.
Is there a level balancing thing? Because I know there's levels in the game.
Yes, I'm not
so
sure about.
would it be like if a level 30 person joined your level 1 game?
I'm not sure how that would work.
You'd kind of get boned because the level difference is like. The
Yes,
average
there
would be
is a
like-
warning that says
It's like
it is your game. So if they join your game, they're playing at your level.
okay.
So if you are level like 30, and you're all like, "Yo, Tony, you should totally come and join my game,"
Okay.
and you're like, "Okay, I haven't played this game
Level
yet."
5. Come on,
Yeah,
go.
I just started this game. I'm like level 5. Yeah, just come on in.
Check out this plank of wood with a nail in it.
And yes, that's one of the first weapons you pretty much get, and you would come into my game and go, and then get eaten.
Oh, that's good to know.
Also, your character is immune to whatever the virus is that is spreading across this.
I think that's an ongoing thing with zombie games and movies where you have to have that select individual group who is some sort of immunity or a carrier to.
See,
the
and like, because we
virus.
were talking about the Resident Evil.
Yeah.
You were seeing like you saw like
Yeah,
heroes
Resident
starting to
Evil
get bit.
Yeah.
For them, by the 6th game,
I think
I'm hoping that they've injected themselves with so much like
the
anti stuff that they're just immune.
So I think
Which-
I think that's how they solve those ones, but
Which makes sense.
and that's the thing. Same thing in Left 4 Dead. They spent a whole year crafting the backstory for the I guess the 7 characters in Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Who are immune to the zombie virus.
Yeah.
So there's like a whole long comic you can
See,
read.
that's what I mean. This one obviously has something like that because you wake up and they make a point of going like, "We found you and you had bite marks all over you,
Okay.
but you ain't a zombie."
Well, at least they're upfront about that.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's pretty much right off the bat.
Because even in the first Resident Evil, well, okay, when I say first Resident Evil game, this is like 1996 when people are like, oh, zombies. And, your main, like Jill or whoever would
Chris, yeah.
Chris and Jill, they'd be like eaten to hell. And
Oh yeah.
all you had to do is eat a green herb, apparently.
Yeah, and you were fine.
But different story in modern zombie games.
Well, because I think people are expecting more, like, and especially when they made Resident Evil 1, you weren't expecting them to make, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mhm.
Code Veronica, like,
Yeah.
they weren't expecting it to be.
A popular series.
So, Jill and Chris could get bitten and you didn't care what happened, like, all of a sudden
Yeah.
they could have become zombies later.
Yeah.
You never would have
I'm
cared.
really surprised they didn't make a plot twist or anything like that happen.
Yeah, no kidding, because that
Like
would have worked.
they
really
almost
well.
did it with Jill in
Yeah.
5. They almost did, but they scrapped it for some reason unknowns to me.
Well, because they want to still be able to use Jill. So yeah, I don't know. Dead Island is not.
Is it worth $20? Because I can go to EB Games and purchase it for $20. Not the Game of the Year edition, just
I would not.
no.
That is me.
I think I like zombie games, but I don't like.
I don't know,
I don't like
just-
it. I don't like playing them for long periods of time just because I would get bored. That's why I really like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
You can drop in, play for like half an hour, and go, okay, done for now. I can pick it up another time.
And this one, it has it's kind of a quest hub thing. So you get to
Yeah.
a hub, you do you get a bunch of quests, and you go up and do those quests. And I figured, like, I mean, if you wanted to, you could go. This guy says go to cabin 6 and get my insulin.
Yeah, but then
You could go and get his insulin, come back, and
Yeah,
be
but that's
done.
more or less just quests and zombies getting in the way of you.
Right.
And that's why I didn't like Dead Rising.
Right.
It just got really, really tedious. And Dead Rising tried to switch it up because they added psychos and clowns with chainsaws.
And time limits.
Yeah, so it's little things, but it's overall you still had to fight your way through swarms of zombies, and same thing with Dead Island.
Yeah, but with Dead Island, like to me, you know, the time limit in Dead Rising kind of gives it a different spin, because all of a sudden it's like you have time to save Bob
and this guy
or Shirley,
but not both.
Or you can just keep killing zombies.
Yes.
Like you don't have to save either one of them, and you can go.
Or try to kill them apparently.
Yeah. But this game, it's like, I need you to get my insulin. I'm in a lot of trouble. Like, you know, a diabetic in trouble of going into shock. He's like, I really need my insulin right now. I don't have much time. I'm going, cool, I've got like, you know, 5 minutes to get to his hut and get back with insulin. Nope.
No, it's just another.
It's just another
tab.
It's just another dot on my map, and it's like, okay. So all sense of urgency in the story kind of goes away. And
apparently, there's a huge story in like somewhere in the middle there.
And there's talk of like this typhoon coming in. So I'm like, wow, this game's gonna start getting like, you know, timed. Like you only have 3 days till the typhoon gets in, and all of a sudden you're gonna get that Dead Rising type thing where you only have a limited.
I think they do. I think they want to isolate themselves from that though.
They did, but at the same time, it just makes the story a lot less appealing. Just because you go.
Well, there's enough.
Well, there's no urgency.
Well, there's enough time. Well, I guess there was enough interest because they did make a DLC for it. Because
there's 3 DLCs on
there's like
a Game of the Year edition. So.
I think one of them just like a battle dome area or something. Something really silly.
And that's what I mean. Like see, Dead Rising's off the wall enough.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I can accept that.
That all of a sudden, like, you know, in the span of 2 hours, someone has built a battle dome of doom.
Yeah.
You know, to do that kind of stuff. This game is supposed to be kind of grounded.
And the thing is, because it's so grounded, you have to spend time, you know, beating zombies up. Whereas in Dead Rising,
oh yeah, you
just run up. You can touch them, they fall down.
And you could attach a chainsaw to, you know, a pole, and just start going crazy.
Put chainsaws on your motorcycle.
Yeah, and this one you can repair weapons and that kind of stuff. You can go through people's luggage and find money and gears and that kind of.
That's another thing. Why do you need money in the zombie apocalypse?
To upgrade your weapons, of course.
I think during the zombie apocalypse, money becomes irrelevant.
Well, that was my thing.
Everything should be traded for bottle caps.
Yeah. Well, like I'm running around the beach picking up oars and pieces of wood. Like I had so many, like.
You have so much wood.
Yeah, so much wood. I have so many stupid like little weapons that I was never worried. Like they were sitting in my inventory, were just waiting to be used, and I never used them because I just kept picking up other. Like you know, my oar would break. And I'm like, look, wham.
And it breaks and you pick up another one.
And you just keep picking them up. So I'm sitting there going, why do I need to buy what? Why do you put money in the game?
Yeah.
Figure something else out, like to repair a plank of wood or make it stronger. I need another plank of wood and some nails. Like, just do that.
Some sort of crafting system.
And they do have a crafting system, but just not.
It's not in depth.
I don't get the money. The money I don't get. Like, why?
You really don't need it, especially in an apocalypse situation.
Well, then what am I gonna pay on? Like, the workbench, insert $2 to
put weapon on table.
Yeah, like to me that
sounds out of the way.
Yeah, so that part. That's what I mean. Like, it just doesn't suck you in.
Yeah. And
I feel like a game like that could suck you in if they had done a better job of just the storytelling and that kind of stuff.
I think if in place of the money thing, I think they could have done something to the effect of, kill as many zombies. Oh, here's a reward because you were doing a good job exterminating zombies. And then the next tier will be something else, and the next tier will be something else.
Yeah.
Something.
Or do the whole. Do you remember the Game Boy Zelda game?
Yes.
Where you had to trade like that. There was that one really weird item that you carried around all the time, and it's like this person really wants a seashell, so you got the seashell, you brought it to this person, they give you a bunch of bananas. Oh,
so like a trading side quest.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that, I would have been really cool with because
you don't see those in games anymore, other than Zelda games.
But that would have been perfect in this game, where this person goes, "Man, I lost, my favorite, like maybe throw a kid in and go, I lost my teddy bear."
Yeah, you go find your teddy bear.
And the parent gives you something asinine and stupid in return. But you end up finding someone who wants that stupid item.
Yeah, like I need a hammer.
And then if you continue that whole thing till the end, you get this
sweet gun.
You get a really cool gun. You get a sword that might not break. Like let's just say some guy was like, "Oh yeah, I was here on a trade show kind of thing, and here's like Ginsu knives that will never dull."
Is there like fast travel or anything?
Yep.
Okay, so I guess not like a plane would be useless.
Yeah. You know, there's just you click on the map and go to, it's not like super fast, like you can't just click on any point in the map and go, whoosh, but you can go back to specific hubs.
I got really bored in Sleeping Dogs when I did, well, not bored, but like, I didn't want to drive from point A to point B in Sleeping Dogs, and I started hiring cabs.
I like that system.
You get bored enough, quick travel.
But yeah, so I played that, and then I played London Olympics 2012.
Family Canada kicks ass.
Any team that you pick kicks butt. On medium mode, like normal, you can't select hard until you finish medium.
But the Olympics is hard.
And that's what I'm sitting there going, man, but the Olympics is tough. Like,
it's supposed to be tough. It's supposed to be a challenge.
I've broken quite a few world records now.
Oh, goody.
Yep.
Maybe they should test you for drugs.
I think they should be testing my guys.
Yeah, like.
And it got to the point when I was playing, because it shows you for certain things that have records, because not everything has records.
Yeah.
And I mean, running, there's no way that I was going to beat records.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you have to, like, get that A button pressed perfectly on time to get there, to that perfect, and then you have to, like, push the left stick up just as you're, like, you have to have all the perfect scenarios going.
Mm-hmm.
But for the high jump, it goes, well, you know, best in the world is 2.10 meters or whatever.
And that's real world.
And that's whatever it is actually set
at
at.
the time when they were making the game.
Yeah, before the game was released. So I'm like, or it was I think 2:08, and I'm like,
Yeah.
2:10. My first jump.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, let's just break the world record. Because if it's the world record, that means everybody behind me shouldn't be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up and I make one jump. 2:10. You've beaten the world record. You've beaten the Olympic record. Your personal best. Like you've just killed.
Destroyed.
Yeah. And then so you pick for your next jump because you do like 6 jumps, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how all these rules go. But you pick for your next jump and you have to go higher.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You have to. But if you don't make it, your best, they just take your best jump.
Yes.
So I set it to like 2:12. I'm like, okay. And I don't make it because I'm really not trying too hard now. So there's me at 2:10 winning gold. The next guy's at like 1.87.
That's huge.
And I'm like, what? Can I not play hard mode now? This seems like I should be playing hard mode. Every race I can win. I take off slow on purpose and still come in first.
So you're saying the game's incredibly imbalanced?
Yes, that is what I'm saying. There is multiplayer modes.
Okay.
And like they add gimmicky type stuff. So it is Sega, who has done the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Mm-hmm.
So they know how to kind of throw quirky little things into certain events. So there is like beach volleyball you can play with 4 people, and there's power ups on the field. If you want to, you can turn on just beach volleyball and play just beach volleyball or
party mode,
and all of a sudden things get a little. I haven't tried anything with the Kinect yet.
You should try something. You long jump in your house.
Yeah. And all I can see the Kinect being used for is, like, especially like long jump. Because the long jump is literally when you play. Yeah. They don't even change the button. A.
Is there any sort of
like
character
the triple jump?
Is there any sort of character progression or team progression?
No, you can customize the look of your team.
Oh, so you can't be like, oh man, I'm putting more points into this dude.
Nope, and that would have been really cool.
Just, and then up the balance of the game, because then you can have.
Yeah, because all of a sudden you can show, okay, you got extra points, you got a weightlifting competition coming up, you should boost your weightlifting guy's strength.
You said there's multiplayer.
Yes.
Is there sort of online leaderboards?
Yes, there's also online leaderboards.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
So there's where your bit of your challenge comes in.
Okay, so at least you can face off against real world challenges.
Yes, so like someone actually sets like a high jump of 2.14 and you go.
Okay.
Because the higher you go, the more you have to nail every single little, and they count angles on this game. So, for instance, I did, I think a javelin throw or a discus throw, and I nailed the 45 degree, I pinged it and it goes perfect throw, and your guy goes into this slow motion, like it does the replay of it. and the discus hits in the ground.
Well, okay,
and the crowd goes nuts.
That's pretty satisfying then.
So that's what I mean, like, and it's funny because
it doesn't matter how well you do though. Then your strength and angle are always preset.
Well, no, because I mean, if you're good at like shoving your thumb in the exact 45-degree angle,
yeah,
you're good.
Uh-huh.
If you're like me and you're kind of forgetting about it, because you're like, yeah, because for instance, javelin, you have to like sprint up to the thing.
Yeah, and then jump.
And then pull back and flick forward. So if your flicking is kind of haphazard,
yeah,
your javelin kind of flies off to the side. You don't do as well. So.
Okay. How's the selection of events though? Is it the
there is everything.
So it's the entire like from
There's,
swimming to
table tennis, swimming, kayaking, trampoline,
horsey jumping.
I haven't hit horsey jumping, but I'm assuming it's in there considering half the sports that they've put in there.
So
like why you would put some of those in there and not have like horsey jumping.
Man, horsey jumping is awesome.
Yeah, but I mean again, trampoline. If you have played Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
So literally it's just like, your view is top down?
No, they don't do that.
Oh, okay.
What it is you jump, and you select a routine, as you do at the real Olympics. You always tell them, like, this is the routine I'm going for. And they go, well, that is worth, like, 10.25 tariffs.
Whatever.
It's a difficulty setting. So if you nail everything, you get, 10.5 tariffs, which is way better than, Susie, who did 8.3 tariffs. And you pick it and it goes, okay, here's the button sequence you were going to have on your next jump.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes like, B, X, down. So when you come right off the mat, you hit B and you go into one flip, you hit X, you go into another flip, and you hit down so you land properly.
Mm.
And then it goes, okay, your next one here, boop, 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 boop.
That sounds kind of thin, but...
I screwed up multiple times, still got gold.
Oh, well...
Table tennis is,
of all the sports, though, which would be your best sport?
like most fun.
Yes, most fun, whether or not you got gold or silver or whatever.
The kayaking was not my favorite, was I believe the most in-depth,
Okay.
because it's not like it's a kind of whitewater rapid course.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go and you have to actually like plant your oar and spin through some of
Oh,
them.
that's neat.
So, and I mean, it took quite a bit of like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So that was cool. I don't know, the arrow shooting was kind of cool.
Was there any gunplay?
Yeah, there's there's the quick pistol shooting. I think there's discus shoot, like the clay.
Shotguns.
Yeah, whatever that is. I'm going to hit quick event because you can just play stuff and see if there's like a marathon in there. Because I would like, or a triathlon, because I would like to see how they handle that. And we're back after some weird like, what was that, Tony?
Oh, ghosts.
Whew.
And vampires.
Yep.
Fighting.
But we fought them off though. So yeah, I'd like to see if there's longer events.
Okay.
Because even the longer running.
It sounds like a very thin game. Though.
It is because, and I think the reason for that is because there's so many events that they try to put all of them in.
Well,
so
from what it sounds like, it's just the Mario Sonic games
with way more events.
Minus the obvious characters.
Yes, and minus the fun factor of it being a little kind of
kidsy.
Well, and off the wall, because I mean, in a cycling kind of event on a Mario and Sonic game, it's not just going to be go around the circle.
Yeah.
There's going to be a power up. There's going to be a something. You're going to be able to use like a fire flower or something.
Oh yeah, I've never actually played those Mario and Sonic games, so
there's.
I'm not worried about playing them, to be honest. Though.
The running stuff is running.
Mario.
Yeah.
Or if you're playing the Move.
That's what I mean.
Or the Kinect.
Yeah. But I mean.
That just looks weird.
But like that's what I mean on the Mario and Sonic games, which are on the Wii. Like that's
Which one would you rather have though? The official game?
I'd rather have the Mario and Sonic game.
Yeah, I think the Mario and Sonic games just
for party purposes.
For game wise.
And yeah.
As a fun game.
Yeah, well, because I'm tired of looking at generic Olympic athletes.
Well, you can adjust them.
You can, but they still look generic.
Oh, you can't put a hat on them or
No.
anything?
Oh no, because every event has a different costume.
But I want a hat.
Too bad. Then you have to play certain events that have hats.
I'll give them money for it.
And every Canadian wears the exact same thing.
Boring.
They've constructed all the stadiums though.
Okay, so it's all
So I mean, if you're a
relatively accurate.
if you're a big Olympic nut,
Yeah, and if you watched all the stuff from a couple weeks back,
yeah,
you might enjoy it.
that's what I mean. That like those little things are cool.
Is there any sort of elaborate opening ceremonies
Yeah, there is-
or
there-
any
well,
closing ceremonies or anything?
There's 2 English people that talk.
Oh,
and they-
but they're not like Stephen Fry or anything. Anyone charming?
That would have been wicked. No, they're 2 actual sports announcers, I think, from England.
That's not as cool.
And they kind of do this whole like, oh, look at this pan over of England that we built really quick, so we're not going to show you much of it. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, we're in London and here's the, blah, 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 blah.
Welcome to the whatever year.
Yeah, and then they pan over and you see all the teams that they let you play as.
So you can't play as all the countries?
No.
Well, that's not as cool.
You can play as the big countries.
I want to be the small country that didn't get a single medal.
And then win like 1,200 of them.
All the events.
Yeah, all the events, just the same guy. Make all the characters look identical and name them all the same, so when it comes down to it, it's like...
China's already in there though.
China's in there.
So, all the same.
Yeah. Hong.
Hong. Wong.
Wong.
Wing.
Chung.
Ling. Yeah.
But yeah, so you see the main countries, like the bigger ones.
Yeah.
There's like a person carrying a flag, like or a whole, you know, the whole
Or
team.
the
they hold a
other
flag
countries
under
at least represented in it. I'd be super offended if my country wasn't in there.
I honestly don't know.
Like-
The smallest country I've seen so far is Jamaica, and they were in a running event, so I figured that was
That
par
makes-
for the course.
Mhm.
Like, if I saw Jamaica in a rowing event, maybe I'd be a little...
I think all the countries are allowed to compete, so.
Everybody's allowed to compete as long as you can
Yeah.
send someone.
So.
So that's what I mean. If you're a big Olympic nut, it's kind of cool. I'm not sure if the athletes that they throw into the certain events are actually named after
Well,
athletes.
I can't.
Because there's definitely not a likeness factor. It is, if you go into customize and it goes, you know, random
Generic.
face number, generic face number 2, generic face number 3.
So there's
What
no,
skin
like-
tone do you
So
want?
there's no like Michael Phelps
No.
or, you know.
No. And I mean, I'm playing for Canada, so I should play as America because I probably recognize more of the names, which is sad. But
Yeah. Well, we don't. Canada doesn't do summer. We do snow.
we do winter. And
do
apparently the Paralympics,
I heard about the Paralympics too, so maybe.
which would have been cool to see in this game, I think.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, like,
I think those are two different things though, so I don't.
They are. But, and the other thing is like, I mean, there was a runner this year that actually participated in the Olympics because he smoked people in the Paralympics, but he had no leg. He was missing one of his legs or both of his legs.
Oh wow.
And he actually ran and came in like second in the real, like the actual Olympics
Wow.
against like
Good
full-bodied
job.
people. And I'm like, man, that would be cool to see
Him.
in the game.
I don't know.
And I don't know when the game kind of finished development, because that makes
Probably
a difference on,
really similar. Like I'd say they just took the same assets from the Mario Sonic games.
and just changed character models and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, like, and it would have been cool to kind of, you know, just taking the Tony Hawk thing, maybe throw your avatars in there, maybe have like avatar mode.
Yeah, like for. Well, is it on the Wii? Is it on the Wii?
It's on the Xbox, it's
Wii,
on,
PlayStation.
I know it's on PlayStation, I'm not sure if it's on the Wii, I'm assuming they have it on the Wii. I mean, it's literally vital control friendly, so,
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't look as pretty, but
The game doesn't look pretty anyways.
it's not a pretty looking game. Some of the environments are pretty,
Yeah.
but the character models are stupidly generic and bland, and, but that's what I mean, so all of a sudden if it would have been my avatar playing,
Yeah, I think there's some sort of licensing agreements they gotta sign for that stuff.
and so for me, that's why I like the Sonic and Mario games for Olympic games. But otherwise, that's what I've been
Mhm.
playing, so. You?
I'm kind of in a drought of games only because
School? Yeah.
waiting for Persona,
Mm.
moving, school.
Yep.
I put in Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on the Vita
Excellent.
because I had that for a long time. I haven't played it,
Yep.
but I finally started 2 on the Vita,
Nice.
and my God, is that it's a great game on the Vita.
Yeah.
I mean, I never understood. Well, I always loved 2. I played the game like 20, 30 times, so it's not like the game's challenging for me, but my God, it's amazing on the Vita because you get that giant screen
Yep.
for what essentially is a PS2, like one of the best looking PS2 games today.
Oh yeah.
So you don't really need to use the touch controls, which thank God for me. I don't need it.
Mhm.
I mean, I think the only thing you need the touch controls for is changing weapons and changing items, which I think is a little contrived. because before you would hold the L2 and R2,
Right.
your items and weapons would pop up, and then you would use the stick to select it.
Yeah.
Well, because there's no L2, R2 on the Vita, you have to touch the item, and then you drag up to the classification of it. So if it's a handgun, you choose handgun, slide it over, and then you choose a pistol. Or if you don't, you want assault rifle, same thing. You drag it up to the assault rifle class, whichever one you want, equip. So the advantage there is it does pause the game, unlike the more modern Metal Gear Solid games. So it's still a great buy. I don't know if it's still on shelves or not. The Vita games like this are really getting hard to find, because I know Gravity Rush is still kicking around, but I haven't seen HD Collection, the Metal Gear Solid one for the Vita, in a while. I haven't tried transferring over my save to the PS3, only because I have finished it on the PS3 already.
Right.
The trophies don't transfer over though. Well, if you start a game save, started a game save without the patch on the PS3 version,
Yes.
and you transfer it over,
Yes.
your trophies won't unlock.
Oh.
So you need to have started the game
Yes.
either on, after the patch date for the Vita game.
Okay.
Because they put a patch out for the transferring. But it's really neat because, you'll be playing your trophies on your Vita, you can sync your save over to your PS3 over the cloud or whatever system you want to do it with. You load the game up, trophies automatically pop up.
Oh.
Just right there.
Well, that's nice.
Unfortunately for me, I already finished MGS2 on the PS3.
Yeah.
So I have this entire list of trophies I've already completed. So trying to transfer trophies over won't make a difference because I just restarted again.
Yeah.
But for 3, I will do that though. And again, you can just pick up and play that game anywhere you go.
Yeah.
The way they've integrated it into the Vita's sort of interface, where you pause the game, go back and do it anytime you want without any hesitation.
All right, that's
It's
nice.
amazing. It's incredible. I think it's great for portableness.
Yep.
Same great convoluted story.
I was gonna say you had a problem kind of with the cutscenes
of 3.
3.
There's a problem with that just because on the 3DS version you have such a small screen, whereas on the Vita you have a bigger screen, so it's a little bit forgivable. Also, the way that you can multitask on the Vita, it's kind of you can do all these other things with the game running in the background.
Right.
So you can go search on the internet or search on Twitter and stuff like that.
So you're not limiting your game system to just
only the card, whatever.
playing a cutscene for the next 5 hours.
Yeah. So, and the way the PS3 or the Vita handles its off and on states, it's a lot faster. It runs a lot smoother than the Vita or the 3DS does. So, still by far though, if you're gonna play Metal Gear Solid 3 for the first time, I still recommend the 3DS version just because of the performance tweaks that they have done on the game.
Yeah.
Because the ones on the Vita, the HD collections, are ports of Substance and Subsistence, and that's it. Whereas the one on the 3DS, they actually went in and put in crouch controls, they went in and put in third-person controls and aiming and stuff like that. So I think that stuff by itself makes the game a lot more accessible for modern gamers,
Right.
as opposed to people who haven't really played the games before. Also, the 3DS version has the fancy thing where you take a picture and it becomes your camouflage.
Yeah, there's just little gimmicky type fun
Yeah,
stuff.
it's really, if you can pull it off, great. But it's always awesome to see weird logos on Snake's camouflage. So
McDonald's.
barrel roll camo.
Yes.
Wouldn't work anywhere.
Because our colors really don't go with anything. Unless he's hiding against an American flag.
I can think of maybe one place that works, but it's so niche. So I've been playing a lot of MGS2 on the Vita.
Cool.
I got a code for Resident Evil 6, the demo, on the PS3 because the Xbox is at their demo for what seems like eternity. So I was all like, yes, finally get to play Resident Evil 6.
Yep.
I loaded it up and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. The cutscenes look great. The character model looks awesome. The story is so friggin' messed up now. I don't really even know where to begin. And then the game begins.
Yes.
So the game is far changed from the predecessors. It is now an actual third-person shooter.
Right.
Where you move your camera around, there's no locked camera anymore, which I kind of miss, but at the same time, for modern gamers, you gotta get something accessible for it. So that's not a terrible thing. It's got an interesting way of running in the game, because before, you just move in the direction and Chris or whoever would just jog in that direction. Well, in Resident Evil 6, I haven't played the other scenarios. I played Leon's scenario, but he would kind of do his little half jog, and then he would bolt.
Oh, if you just keep running.
Yes.
Oh.
It's unique. It doesn't stop. He doesn't stop jogging when you turn on a dime, where like you stop for a second or two. So you can stop and then adjust your angle and then keep running. But if you stop for a long period of time, he starts
just jogging
again, which is a problem when it comes to action scenes.
Yeah.
So there's that. The shooting is odd because when you pull your gun up, like in Resident Evil 4 and 5, the camera will kind of zoom in a little bit for your shoulder aim.
Right.
Well, in 6, they decided to make the character model really, really big, like over half the screen big. So you can't, your peripheral vision is limited to like a hitbox like this. So I don't know if that was intentional, because the camera also does the focuses on the reticle and blurs out the character model a little bit. And I thought that was really, really awkward. Now, again, this was just the demo.
Right, and that's, I was just gonna say, so maybe.
Maybe, and I searched forever to try and see if I could pull the camera back at least in the settings, but I couldn't find anything about that. So maybe I'll play Chris's, or maybe I'll play Chris's little section. Maybe it'll be different.
Maybe.
Because they're all in the demo anyways. They have the classic survival horror scene. They have an action scene, and then they have some sort of snow chase scene. So
a vehicle level.
A vehicle level. In a Resident Evil game? No way.
You know, you don't just have to shoot a rocket at a helicopter for the umpteenth time, because they like doing that.
They like that is the classic Resident Evil way to finish it. So you can expect the last scene to have
a rocket launcher.
Not a rocket launcher, probably 3 rocket launchers.
Probably.
Because 5 ended with 2 rocket launchers.
That's true. So you gotta step it up for this.
So Leon's scenario, now I don't know if the demo is like the start of his scenario. You shoot the president in the head because he's a zombie.
Awesome.
So no spoiler alert. President turns into a zombie, and you have to shoot him in the head.
Which means Leon screwed up somewhere, because he's supposed to be protecting them.
I know, he's like bros with the president.
I know. Well, he saved his daughter,
Yeah.
And probably got a little action there. So.
No one, as he reads from the script, I have not done anything with Ashley.
Yeah.
So that's a weird thing to happen in the story. I don't know. Hunnigan is back. If you get for the fans of her, she was in 4 for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Total. So she's got a bigger role this time. She's playing the sort of role, the radio contact, as well as trying to help Leon with other things in the BSAA.
Awesome. Do we see anybody from the 3DS game kind of making a big screen appearance?
Well, I don't think anyone survives from the 3DS one, other than Chris and
I don't think so either, but I'm just trying to, do they, I wonder if they'll do any little flashback scenes kind of where...
I can imagine they would, because they have said Revelations is actually canon. I think they said it takes place after 5?
Yes.
But I can't say it taking place after 5, because Jill has white hair at the end of 5. I think it takes place before 5. Before they go to the mansion. And before Jill gets killed. I think it takes place before then, because they're
partners. Yeah, that might make sense. It's hard to say. I don't remember.
The game was really convoluted. The Resident Evil games
are all really convoluted.
So, again,
look at a wiki. They explain it way better.
I have Resident Evil, not a Wikipedia, but like an encyclopedia book for 1, 2, 3. I think 4. No, 1, 2, 3 and Code Veronica.
Yeah, but those were easy to follow because they just went and...
Yeah, now they're just like T-virus, C-virus, K-virus.
Yeah.
Well, I will say there are zombies again, so... the shooting is, other than the awkward camera angles, I can't say it's, any different. There's an option for quick shoot, apparently, where you can just fire off a quick round and keep running.
Oh.
but it's like
It sounds like they want to make the game more cinematic.
more cinematic, more
Action.
story based, more action based, while still kind of holding on to the survival horror aspects that made 1, 2, 3, and even Revelations so good.
I was gonna say, you know what was funny about, like, 1, for me, other than Revelations, was one of the creepier ones, just because of confined spaces,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff, and then Revelations came out, and all of a sudden they had confined spaces,
Mhm.
long hallways, you know, shadows off to the side, and you're like, okay, nothing.
There's a lot of moments in this the Leon chapter of the demo too.
But that's good.
Because you're I don't know what kind of party you're crashing.
Yeah.
But a party has been crashed because of the zombie incident and you shooting the president in the head. So you're running around this, I guess, university, and the lights kind of flicker out.
Oh, yeah.
And then your partner goes, "What's that?" And then you guys have the little flashlights on your ears apparently.
See, and that works for me.
That works because then you can,
You only have that beam, you only
beam
have
of
that.
light.
Yeah.
They've really constricted the beam of light this time around. So it's, you gotta make sure you pull your shots right.
No, and that I'm okay with, but that's what I mean, like, that series needs a claustrophobic type
Mhm.
feel to it.
And it does feel like that. And
Because
I-
4 had pieces.
4 had pieces. It was
5
still
had nothing.
Nothing at all. Barely anything at all. Sewers. That's some sewer scenes. That's about it.
But I mean,
Yeah, nothing.
no, and they.
That's why no one liked 5.
Yeah, everybody's like, what the heck happened with 5? And
5.
then,
I didn't mind 5, only because I enjoyed the shooting parts.
yes, that's what I mean.
But it had nothing like Resident Evil.
No, it was not scary.
It's not scary. It's all action. So for it to be this darker this time around, I'm really excited to see what they do with it.
And I'm okay if
But-
they even mix all that together.
Mhm.
Like, all of a sudden, like, if you play Chris's scenario and it is well lit and there's lots of shooting and that
Yeah,
kind of,
because
that's cool.
he is the sort of the buff guy. He still is pretty buff.
Yeah.
In 5, although they're alluding to that he and Leon are going to be kind of button heads, even though they're really friends in the agency. So we might see some conflict in the final game
Blah, blah, blah.
between the two of them, between the bros.
This one won't be the final game.
Never be the final game.
No, they said they were gonna like the next the next Resident Evil was gonna kind of reboot everything.
Well, I think that the one thing that they did say that I don't know if it's going back on the word or not, but 5 was the last game for Wesker.
Yes.
So, but then they have Jake, which is apparently some sort of prodigal son of Wesker, and I'm like, you guys are idiots.
Clones.
Now you're just going into the movie territory.
Yeah. By the way, that's coming out soon.
That's this week.
Yes, and you can also watch 5 on Netflix in Canada.
Resident Evil 5?
Or whatever the last movie
4?
was. 4 or 5?
I don't know.
how
They're
many
terrible.
there are.
I found it.
Either way, it's
It's not good.
Aftermath or whatever.
Afterlife.
Yes, it is now on Netflix. Thanks, Netflix, for ruining my.
1 was fantastic.
I enjoyed 1.
1 was really well done for what they had.
Yeah.
2 was.
But see, 2, they start screwing with characters.
Yes, they did.
Because 1, they separated it completely from the game universe.
Yes.
You don't have Jill, you don't have Chris, you don't have, like, there was
They
no.
barely had anyone from the game in there.
That's what I mean, like, there was the Umbrella Corporation.
They had the mansion.
Yeah.
Which was great when they had it in the movie, and then they went underground, and I'm like,
I was
where's the
gonna say,
mansion?
the mansion was there for 2, so it was like,
It was there for a scene, and she.
here's a little, like, nod to the fans, there's a mansion, they start there.
Yeah.
Tee-hee,
Here's
tee-hee.
the dog, here's some liquors, go.
Yeah, tee-hee. Movie's completely different from the games. And then I mean people like us complain because all of a sudden the second one starts and Jill's in there and these people are in
And then
there.
Nemesis is in it, and then Nemesis is an actual character from who.
Yeah, and it just started getting stupid.
Yeah. And as long as they isolate themselves from the games, the movies, anyway, that is, I'm okay with that.
But I mean they haven't anymore. You now have the Redfields in there, you have Leon supposedly coming in the next one, you have.
The actor for Leon does look pretty cool.
I know, but it's still good.
I
They're gonna
know.
kill the character.
I know.
Because so far, no one that they've hired to take on a character has portrayed that character well. And my other problem.
Jill's wasn't too bad from 2.
she had the good look,
She had the good look, she didn't have the attitude.
but her attitude was misplaced because Jill in the games had come out of the mansion incident.
Yeah.
In the movies, she was just like, she was the cop that was like,
And
whatever, don't care what's happening.
And Jill was, I think in the movie she was a little almost too aggressive.
Yeah.
Whereas in the games it's not even quite so much because it's more of like, oh, I'm a rookie cop. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. That's so.
I think they tried to put Rebecca in once. She was a survivor from one in Resident Evil 0.
Yeah, but yeah, I liked Rebecca in the games. There was also, I think, Connor or Blake or whatever his name was. He was the guy that ran around with Rebecca in 0.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, I like the video game characters, as convoluted and kooky as they all are.
Mhm.
I like them way more than their movie counterparts. And
I think that stands to reason.
that's what keeps bugging me about the movies is they keep trying to like
say, hey, this is Jill. She looks like she was in Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
Sorry, that happened at the end of Afterlife.
Yeah, and then it's
Spoilers.
like, oh yeah, and here's
Here's Wesker is probably the most accurate.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wesker. They nailed. I'm okay
Wesker
with
is the
Wesker.
most. Because the scene, have you seen Afterlife
Yeah.
yet? Okay. Did you watch the end credits?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know about Jill in that
Yeah.
one. Yeah, like Wesker's that fight scene at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like almost exactly
From
the
the
same.
game, yeah.
I'm like, this is perfect. This is awesome.
Wesker, I like.
Yeah, and actor they got really good too.
Yep. But see, and I don't even mind Mila Jovovich's character, whose name I can't remember right now.
Alice.
Yes, Alice. I don't even mind Alice.
Mm-hmm.
Because Alice is Alice in the movies. That's cool.
Yeah.
If they would have brought in Wesker from the video games, just as a bad guy, I would have been okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is the Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he's the entity of the Umbrella Corporation.
He's a god.
Yes, and then, but to bring in like someone to play Chris Redfield, who is not at all Chris Redfield.
Not buff. He's bald.
He wasn't involved in any kind of. He's just a random survivor with no backstory.
And I love the fact that they like loosely connected him with Claire.
Yes.
Like so terrible.
Yep.
It's like, you're my sister.
Yep.
What? I don't know, because she's can brainwash stuff, but I'm like, that was like, as fans, we're like, that's gonna happen, but then the movie watchers are gonna be like, who? Chris who? Claire, Claire what?
Like they don't care, and you keep shoehorning all these people into these roles.
I think maybe it's something we gotta finally accept, though.
We do, and I mean,
So-
obviously the Resident Evil movies are never going to stop.
Yeah, they already have plans for another one after.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like the Resident Evil movies aren't going to stop. We just have to accept that they're going to keep killing off.
I don't even want to say that they're killing off. Just
They're not killing off. They're just killing the ideas of the characters.
as long as the gamers understand where their characters are, we're fine.
Yeah. So Resident Evil,
Mm-hmm.
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid, little bit of 3DS action, but not enough to. I tried playing World of Warcraft, but I don't understand that game.
Well, we'll talk about that after. What don't you understand?
I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's just I don't like playing by myself, and I don't like asking for help from people that I don't know.
Then text me.
Well, we'll see. Now that I should
Activate.
bring my laptop to places more often,
Yes, we can.
because I can actually play it on that now.
Get a
Even though I like downgraded the settings down to.
That's why everyone can play Warcraft, though. That is the beauty of that crazy, stupid game. So.
Yes. That's all I've been doing. I mean, I don't think I'll be getting any more games from the library. Maybe I might get like Spider-Man again, or just something to tide me over until Persona 4 hits.
I'm gonna I've gotta limit myself to like one.
Just because it's so easy to get them.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. Like, you kind of hit the button and go like, okay, this one has like 23 people in front of me. This one has.
What's the worst that could happen? 2 days later. Oh, because they had like 50 copies.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, like, all 5 things that you've reserved are there, and I'm like, oh no, I cannot play this much in this short amount of time.
Maybe I'll get Dead Island. I do like bashing zombies.
Give it a shot. Like, I mean, for people who can rent games, give it a shot.
For $20, though, I think it's a little high.
I still think that's, to me, I did not enjoy it enough to spend money on the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, and especially with those kind of problems I was having with hitboxes and clipping, to have a zombie come up and pretty much ninja behind you and start eating you is a problem when I see them coming and I'm swinging an oar at their face. And it's like, no, it didn't hit. What?
Yeah.
So,
I didn't install Final Fantasy VII on my Vita though, because I did buy it for whatever, I don't know why I bought it, but just so I could have some sort of RPG before Persona hits. I'll load it up and I'll see what it feels like. Maybe it'll be better than the Vita, or not better than the PC version.
But it doesn't have character boosters or anything.
It's okay. The game's stupid easy.
Maybe for you. Either way.
Shall we
news?
jump into it? Steam, from last week, they started their Greenlight sale, or Greenlight service for independent games, where you can put your game out there and have people vote it up, and to be ultimately sold in the Steam store.
Yes.
Which is great.
We love the idea.
So, well, Steam has, or Valve has yet further protected their own service by preventing people from just posting a copy of Solitaire onto Valve's Greenlight service.
Yes, I was going to say it's a trolling thing that was happening.
They're protecting themselves. So to have your game posted even before to get likes or whatever onto this Greenlight service, you have to fork over $100, which I think is, if you're an indie developer, that's
fair.
That's nothing.
No.
Like development cost wise, that's nothing, because graphics programs or sound programs, stuff like that can range you from anywhere from like $200 to like $500. So
I was gonna
$100.
Say if you're an indie developer, you're okay with putting $100.
That is expensible.
Yeah, you're putting $100 aside to get your game possibly on Steam.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
You'll bank on it.
Yeah, compared to like whatever else that you've spent in making your game.
That's what I mean. Yeah, $100 is nothing after you've gotten that far into making a game. Unless again you're like Notch, who started doing Minecraft kind of just
or you're like
out of boredom.
Or like Jonathan Blow with his what's that first game they made? Something really awesome that we both played. The time travel. Braid. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, if you're going to develop your own game just as a
side hobby, then $100 you might want to save up for.
Yeah.
Until the point where you're going, okay, yeah, I can put it on there for $100, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. So, but yeah, for main, like, for little people, like, like 4 or 5 guys get together and go, let's make a game, let's make a game. $20, and then they find $20 on the ground, and there you go.
So, I mean, for full-on game publishers to get their games on Steam, you're probably looking at way more than $100.
Oh yeah.
Like, I would almost wager guess in like the thousands.
Oh yeah.
To get a game on Steam.
Yeah, but you're gonna make your money, and I mean honestly, for a small company, $100 is a baby little expense. Even for an indie company, I hate to tell you this, people, but indie companies do spend a lot of money making games. So
it's like indie movies.
Yeah, indie movies. Well, they're still indie. Yeah. They're indie because they don't cost $5 billion to
maybe
make.
like $2,000.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Depends on the movie. Sometimes they can, an indie movie can keep going up there.
And honestly, that's probably half the money they can probably get from Kickstarter anyways.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, oh, plus we need, if you're willing to, first Kickstarter person to give us $100, we'll put the game on the game, or Greenlight, we will give you a Greenlight shirt or something like that. Something weird. So that's our Steam update for Greenlight.
And I don't think that's a huge problem.
I'm okay with that.
And I'd rather have
normal games rather than solitaire clones.
Yeah, like a bunch of a bunch of trolling. I would rather than
Minesweeper or.
But this is the only way to really protect that, without hiring 2 bajillion people.
And that's the thing. Like you're also, what's stopping if the fee was $0? What's stopping those Chinese companies?
Oh yeah.
From hoarding the store with their fake Counter-Strike games and fake Team Fortress 2 games, right?
Yeah, just keep throwing all of their junk on there and hoping that one of them rises to the top.
And then they'll make up $1 billion, and then for some reason, people are like, what the?
Yeah, this wasn't Counter-Strike that I thought it was. Yeah.
Happens all the time on the App Store.
Yeah. You own a copy of StarCraft 2.
Somewhere.
Wings of Liberty.
It is in a box.
Yeah.
It is kind of sealed.
I've played Wings of Liberty.
Yes.
Well, the much anticipated Heart of the Swarm has entered beta.
Does that mean now that I've updated my Battle.net beta profile, and now that I'm in World of Warcraft, I can apply for a Heart Swarm beta?
Yes, you can apply for a Heart of the Swarm beta.
I will probably never play it.
No, but everybody who has filled out their profile is eligible.
Yes.
And so it's not like you go onto a website and actually go, I want to be in the beta.
No.
You'll get an email from Blizzard one day.
Yeah.
and it'll go,
Would you like to play?
would you like, well, it'll give you a code.
Yeah.
And you take that code and you log in through all your regular because Blizzard doesn't like putting the whole, go to this link, log in, and put your, because there's enough phishing emails out there that.
Yeah, because now, I can imagine the waves and waves of fake emails.
I still had Cataclysm beta invitations coming to my email after Cataclysm had been released.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, because these companies don't quite catch that over in wherever the heck they're from.
Let's say Korea.
Yeah. They don't speak English wherever they're from because I've, corrected their entire email and replied to them. So, that's how else you know it's a fake email most of the time. So Blizzard just likes doing this whole, like, you've been invited to the heart of the Swarm beta, here's your code.
And usually if you follow websites like ours or,
Yeah.
IGN, Kotaku, stuff like that, they'll know when more invites are out.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, oh guys, check your email. And if it comes from them, probably reputable.
Yeah. So that's what I mean, like, you gotta, don't be an idiot, essentially.
Yes. Do your fact checking.
Yeah. Check for blatant spelling mistakes. If Blizzard isn't spelled right,
That's a
pretty big clue. If StarCraft isn't spelled right, also a big clue.
If they say, please enter the beta or something that like.
Essentially, if they ask you to go to a specific link, don't go to that link. Just take the code that they give you in the email, because they'll give you the code.
Mm-hmm.
I've been into Blizzard betas before. Just take the code,
Mm-hmm.
go onto the Blizzard, like the Battle.net website. There's a place to redeem codes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hearthstone.
Yeah, and it'll go, you really want to enter the Heart of Swarm beta? And then you can click no, because.
Just in case you don't, apparently you're crazy enough not to want it.
Yeah, well.
Are those codes locked for people, between people?
I'm not sure how Blizzard pulls that off.
I don't.
Like, I'm not sure if they're.
My understanding is that, because when Wings of Liberty came out, right, in beta, everyone's all like, StarCraft 2 beta key, blah, 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 blah. Like, I've heard people, like, trying to sell their beta keys and it wouldn't work because it was locked to their account.
And see, and that's quite possibly, if you enter this code that they've emailed to that specific Battle.net account email address, and it goes into that, I can see them doing that. Because, those codes could go for a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Like tournament players for StarCraft, if they can get a jump on this kind of stuff,
they'll pay.
They will pay. Now, Blizzard knows these tournament guys.
So they probably have their own codes.
Trust me, they're in the beta.
They were in the beta before it was beta.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
They're in the
They're
alpha
hipsters.
set, yeah.
The hipster betas.
They as soon as beta's released, these guys get invitations because Blizzard knows they're not.
Or if not, they're already in it.
Yeah.
If not, no.
That's what I mean. Like
because they help them do balancing and stuff like that. Blizzard's pretty well. I don't want to say they're small, but they're busy working on other games too. So.
Well, Blizzard as a company is big, but different development teams are. Like, it's not like Warcraft people move over to work on StarCraft.
Yeah.
That's no longer how Blizzard works. Blizzard used to do that. It used to be Warcraft 3, Warcraft 3's done, let's move on to the next thing, and then that team would, like, switch off, and all of a sudden World of Warcraft came out, and they're like, yeah, you guys have to make your own team. Same with Diablo. So, there's certain people that move around at Blizzard, but not.
I'm interested to see.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how this changes online and how it changes.
Well, from the video that I quickly saw, that when I saw this story, apparently, like, when you start as protest, your stuff, like, you're not even protest, but like your gathering guys, automatically go to gather stuff at the beginning of the round.
Oh, that's nice.
That's an interesting little tidbit. I don't play. I still, the only most modern StarCraft I played is StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
StarCraft 1. So.
And the other thing is StarCraft 2 had this really Firefly feel to it. There was definitely a little bit Western sci-fi.
Well, it's interesting to see what Hearthstone will be like, even though.
And that's what I mean, because in between missions, instead of just getting cutscenes, they're like, here is your guy in an area, and then it became a little point-and-click kind of adventure. Like, you could click on a guy, do a little dialogue.
HUD world.
So I'm interested to see what the Zerg hub world will be like, considering most of them talk like this.
I think most of it is going to be, because Kerrigan, now I read spoilers already. If you've never played StarCraft 2, this is not your fault. If I know this, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Like, Kerrigan gets something, she gets separated from the hive mind or something like that.
Yes, she becomes her own, and which essentially, if you guys have played Warcraft 3, the expansion, the same thing that happened to Sylvanas in that game, where she becomes the Banshee Queen and separates herself from the Lich King, same thing.
Yeah, so.
I feel a theme coming on from the guys at Blizzard.
Blackthorn.
Only if he can separate his mind from an evil woman.
Divorce?
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, like I think because they're gonna try and build her story separate from the Zerg.
Yes, and yes.
Is what so.
Which works because then they can throw Zerg in as more bad guys.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did with but with Warcraft. 3 was all of a sudden the undead could fight more undead.
Yeah.
So
there'll be good flavored Zerg. And bad flavored Zerg.
Good flavored Zerg, because Kerrigan will still want to take over the universe.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like she's gonna go, oh, I've separated my mind and I totally want to help you guys now.
Yeah, she still wants to.
She's still cuckoo bananas and wants to take over the universe. Yeah. She just doesn't want to do it for the
Terrans.
main Zerg people.
Or Terrans.
And obviously not for the humans, so she's her own faction, essentially, now.
That's neat. And apparently whatever rumors of a 4th faction.
There's always rumors of a 4th faction, or a 5th faction, or a 12th faction.
No, Zerg, Terran, Protoss, and the race that created everyone.
I know.
Whatever if they are going to do that.
I doubt it. Blizzard doesn't like playing with that much these days. The undead and the Night Elves were a big thing in Warcraft 3. There's supposed to be a 5th one in Warcraft 3. You're supposed to be able to play as the demons. But no. Because all of a sudden they're like, wow, demons are pretty wicked. And so they did become their own faction essentially in the game, but not a playable.
Oh.
So.
Heartswarm beta.
Yep.
Go if you've got it.
Yeah.
Wait patiently if you want one. I'm not going to sell you one if I get it. I'm going to be the douchebag that uses it and plays it once.
Me too. I don't think I even have StarCraft 2 installed on my computer anymore.
It's not in the cloud.
And I don't uninstall anything.
It's not in the cloud.
Cloud gaming.
It could work.
So slow.
So, one series that I hold in my heart really, really dearly from Capcom. It's not that close. That's Metal Gear. And then Girlfriend. And then maybe like this one down, like 4th one or something like that. Ace Attorney series. We've wanted another one forever now, and we were kind of worried when Investigations 2 wasn't getting localized in North America.
Yep.
Well, they've announced Ace Attorney 5, an official sequel to not only just Phoenix or Apollo Justice, but the whole series in general.
Yeah.
Back in the courtroom, localized in North America. They already have plans for that. No more going through legal bull crap or whatever they need to do to get games localized of that caliber. Coming to North America, probably not the day and date of the Japanese, but whatever, right? But it's coming. Full 3D court scenes on the 3DS.
Oh, that's right.
So full 3D character models, full new court system, new everything.
That's exciting.
And it is, well, one of the main characters, Phoenix Wright. So if you guys don't remember the ending for Apollo Justice, they're really sketchy on when this game takes place, because in Apollo Justice, you see Phoenix Wright, but he's sort of like a drunk hobo.
Yep.
For some story reasons, there's a reason why he is like that. So perhaps this game will take place before Apollo Justice, leading into Apollo Justice.
That'd be cool.
Hopefully like that. But yes, I'm very excited for more Ace Attorney 5, and for the fact that it's coming over in America for Shore Seas.
Yeah, because that localization
takes forever. Because I remember when the first Ace Attorney came out in the DS,
Yep.
took forever to come out, and then they made 5 copies.
Yeah. I know, that was the biggest issue, is, well, because it costs so much to localize.
There's so much text in those games. I mean, it almost might be easier now for them to just make them voiced, because Professor Layton versus Ace Attorney, that's all going to be voiced, or at least a good chunk of that anyway is going to be voiced. And they already have a voice actor from Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
That's true.
From Ultimate. So they could easily just reuse the voice actor.
And see, the other thing too, and this is my thing with localizing games, because yes, we are a world that speaks many different languages. Why not, while they're writing the script for the Japanese one, keep sending it over to America?
Oh no, they can't do that, because if they... I think there's a fine details of the story in the Japanese one where they get, you know, when they're starting to rewrite the script and stuff like that, if they try to send it over, it doesn't translate quite right. So they need to get the full script done before they can do the translation. Because like that's how that
you
stuff
think as
works.
you kind of got bits and pieces done, because like I've played Apollo Justice, and I mean, you know, there's Act 1, you know, Act 2, Act 3, like they kind of split them into acts. As soon as you finished Act 1,
maybe that would work.
Ship it over. So by the time you're done Act 3, you can start releasing your game in Japan, but then North America is maybe 2 weeks behind on their
release.
Yeah.
I know this is a really weird tidbit. When Ace Attorney first came out in America, 1, 2, and 3, Trials and Tribulations, and I can't remember what the third one is, but there's actually, if you got the Japanese version, there's an option to switch it to English from the Japanese card, which is completely bonkers in my mind, because people just went and bought the Japanese version of the game, or ROM, and played it in English.
Yeah.
So it was not like that in Phoenix or in Apollo Justice, unfortunately. There was no English option from the Japanese game, which is why it took me forever to get to play the game, because I had to wait for it to get localized.
Yeah.
But in the Japanese game, English text. Which I thought was really, really odd.
Considering it took so long
to
and
come over for all 3 of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say for all 6 copies.
Yeah.
Cause I saw it at that one place, that Play Me store that used to be in West End, and I think they were charging like $80.
No, balls. No. even though they reprinted like another 5 copies.
That's what I mean. Still not. I can't.
It's not worth it.
No. Well, and I mean
it's
now.
Okay, $80. If it is new, it is probably worth, by my like sealed copy of Ace Attorney, like the first one, I would value that probably around $60.
Yeah.
Brand new, not used. Around $60.
Well, and I mean now you've got the ones coming out for the iOS.
iOS, or you can even just play it now because it's already on iOS.
Yes.
So.
But I mean, you got the trilogy coming out on the iOS, so it's kind of just like.
Yeah. So.
Whatever.
But that, yeah, before you get Ace Attorney 5, play the first 3 on the trilogy, and Apollo Justice isn't that hard to find. It's not a rare game.
No.
It's uncommon, is what it is.
It's uncommon, but you can find it. I've seen it in stores.
Yeah, if you really want to find it, you can find it.
And you can play Apollo Justice without playing the other ones.
Yes, it is more or less independent of the story. It has a few nods to the original story, but it covers it well enough that you don't need to play the first 3 or 4. Investigations doesn't count, so 3.
Yeah.
I'm happy. More Ace Attorney. Objection.
I object to the next thing we're talking about.
I don't like. Oh, objection. What is it?
FarmVille 2.
We talked about this game. That we mentioned that it was coming. It was coming out.
I don't know how you make a sequel.
Look for it.
I unfortunately am going to take my Facebook and look up
FarmVille 2. Maybe you have to type 2. Oh, there it is. App page. So, ladies, this FarmVille 2. If you are a middle-aged woman or someone really, really bored and likes to send invitations to friends, it is out. You can play FarmVille 2.
I wonder if you can transfer your data from the old game.
I don't think there's anything to transfer.
Oh, there's 3D-ish graphics.
Oh, so it looks like My Sims.
It looks like, I don't know, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Kinda looks like Harvest Moon.
This game looks terrible.
Well, it's a cheap Harvest Moon.
It's also free.
Yes.
So.
Well, free. You can harvest crops, you can water crops, you can plant crops. You can also now, I'm assuming you could have livestock before. You can again have livestock, that's very exciting. If you want to, and this is just kooky, if you want to play a real farming game, check out Harvest Moon, it's coming out soon. You can pre-order it.
Yes, what is it called?
new friends of something or other. I don't even.
You get a
New
plush doll.
beginnings.
You get a plush doll if you pre-order.
New beginnings. If you pre-order the collector's edition.
There's a collector's edition now?
Yes. If you order the collector's edition, you get a plush cow, which is a staple for Harvest Moon.
Are you getting the collector's edition?
I really want to. If you pre-order just the regular edition, you get a plush yak.
You want both, don't you?
No, I'm good with just the cow.
You want a cow?
Because the yak's not really like, oh, that's totally Harvest Moon. That's just brand new to like this Harvest Moon.
Mm-hmm.
The cow from Harvest Moon. Everybody knows the flippin' cow.
It's fat, it's cute.
Yeah.
I don't like Harvest Moon, but hey, FarmVille 2.
Yeah. I was gonna say Harvest Moon is a niche thing.
It's very niche. It's very niche.
It's like
it's like Apollo Justice and Ace Attorney.
Yeah, it's like a cult movie.
Yeah.
You know, some people like Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's so. And when people say they don't like Harvest Moon, I go, "Have you tried Harvest Moon?" And they go, "Yeah." And I go, "Okay."
Well, it's
I'm
like
okay
it's like
with
those
it.
Apollo Justice or Ace Attorney games. Like,
Yep.
well, not everyone likes them
Nope.
because of the waves
It's-
and waves
it's-
of text
It's
and
pacing and yeah.
and I like it because of the interesting narrative.
Oh look, you can skip growing certain things in FarmVille
By giving them,
if you give them real money.
just like the real FarmVille.
Yeah. So essentially, it's
You've
just
created. There's FarmVille. Is it Zynga still?
yep.
Oh God.
So they're trying to come back from the dead with FarmVille 2, apparently. That's exciting. It's already got 50,000 likes,
Apparently,
so
that's a thing.
woof. Or whatever sound a goat makes. Yep.
FarmVille 2.
FarmVille 2, and now on to happier news. Don't we?
Yes. Well, British TV shows are notoriously difficult to kill, as we've seen from Doctor Who,
Obviously.
Top Gear. Well, we're getting another BBC, well, not BBC show, but another British show.
Yes.
Coming back from the dead.
Yes.
Red Dwarf is coming back.
Entering series.
Series, not season.
No, series.
Series 10. So,
It's exclusively on Dave.
so that's what, it's not BBC.
I'm assuming Dave is a part of BBC.
Is everything coming out of Britain BBC now?
Everything's always been BBC that's come out of Britain.
Okay.
Either
Anyways,
way, the cast is back.
yes, everything's back. How weird is it? Like, when was the last season? Like, dude,
Fact checking.
fact checking. It's been quite some time.
I finished watching, and it's funny because every season just gets better. Like the graphics get better, the effects get better, everything just keeps getting better. Everything just progressively gets better. So if you start watching season 1 or series 1
Mm-hmm.
and finish all the way to series 9 in a small amount of time,
And you can, because
they're not that long. Like
and-
not all of them are stupidly long, but holy jeez, the difference between series 1 and series 9 is insane. Cause like there's only 55 episodes.
That's 2 seasons for a good series.
Yeah, and it was created.
1982? No.
No, it was past there. Original channel, BBC 2. The first airing was in 1988.
And when was the last season?
The last season.
We'll probably go to like
Yeah.
episode list or something like that.
There we go. Back to Earth was in 2009, and that was series 9.
Okay, so
It's now in
four-ish year. 3.5, whenever
Yeah.
comes out.
It comes out in October. It comes out October something.
That's soon.
Yes, it comes out October 4th,
So,
I believe.
British TV show fans, and Red Dwarf fans.
Yep.
You have 6 more episodes to go through.
Yes, there's a whole 6 more episodes coming out, and
I think
they're bringing.
I think the Red Dwarf guys.
They're simplifying it again because Back to Earth was kooky.
Yeah.
Because the entire series is about getting back to Earth.
Yeah.
And series 9, they made it back to Earth and everything was loopy.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think it all ended up being a dream. It's always just a dream.
I think they saw how successful Doctor Who was in the past couple of years, and said,
Yeah.
"Hey guys, we need to bring this back." And
So,
then apparently Red Dwarf.
There you go, Thursday, October 4th. It is coming back for for 6 more shows. It just doesn't end. Like, it just doesn't. They've tried, US versions, they've tried it, nothing beats
The British one.
the British version.
It's like Top Gear.
Yeah.
Everyone watches the British Top Gear, but when you say American Top Gear, what?
Yeah, no.
Apparently people still watch that.
So, Smegheads, you can go and watch 6 more episodes soon. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah. Season or TV shows are starting up real soon here too, so.
Glee's back in 6 days.
Supernatural, I think, is back. Not next week, but I think late September it's back. How I Met Your Mother's back early.
Yeah.
Early
It's
October.
actually funny because out of all the shows, because I follow most of the shows I watch regularly on Facebook or Twitter, Glee, holy jeez, there's no way in hell you don't know when it's coming back. Just the way they tweet and their social networking skills for that show are insane.
Well, they hire probably a good social networking director or whatever they want to call him.
Castle, his tweets are fantastic because Castle has his own Twitter, like the character. So they kind of keep hinting at stuff that's going to happen this season, which is cute. Because he's like, cooking breakfast for 1. What, did you expect more? Something like that. Because him and the chick finally got together at the end of this last season. So, but nowhere do you see when it's coming back. You know it's coming back.
Oh yeah, all our shows are coming back. They're filming,
Yep.
if anything.
Well, they're already on like episode 4 or 5 of Glee already for filming. Like they just go, they hit, and whew.
So I think Supernatural starts way earlier too. I think they start like
Depending on
July.
how effects you need to throw into your show.
Yeah, I think they start July or August.
Yeah.
July, August, something around there.
So.
How I Met Your Mother, they can do that like the week before.
Yeah. We need a day to film.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing. You watch some of the behind the scenes stuff for like Glee. Those guys have gotten so proficient at like learning a dance routine, learning a song. They can shoot like that stuff in 1 day.
Yeah.
They can do 3 routines in a day, and all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, and Community coming back too. I think October.
Interesting 4th season.
Don't know what to feel. Still gonna be Dan Harmon, but not really. I think it comes back October 14th. Don't quote me on that date, but could be pretty close to that. October for sure. Maybe mid-October, because it did have a weird. 19th.
19th.
Close. So.
For 13 episodes.
On Friday. Oh.
The dreaded Friday slot.
We don't know.
I wish they could somehow get like I wish they could find a way to make a budget that they could all work and do the show online.
They do have webisodes.
I know they have webisodes.
Very small webisodes.
But I'd like it if they could kind of move away from this network.
NBC, right?
Yes, who obviously hates them.
Apparently.
And hopefully it's one of those shows where they can work out a deal maybe with Netflix.
Oh, okay. I think.
No one's been able to really do it yet.
I think there's only one so far.
Well,
one show.
Netflix did their own. They started with that one.
So
They've
Deadlight?
tried.
Not Deadlight. Something light, right?
I forgot what it was called.
Deadlock.
I forgot.
Something lock. Yeah.
Either way,
I never watched it.
I didn't watch it either, but they started their own series. Like they started their own show, and they've tried to kind of like go to shows that have failed on TV. Terra Nova, they went to them and they're like, so do you guys, would you guys be interested in being on Netflix? And of course, Steven Spielberg and all the people invested in Terra Nova were like, yeah, that'd be great. Can you give us bajillions of dollars to make our show? And Netflix is like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Here's how much money we can give you per episode. Oh. Well, that's not.
Well,
the Community, I find, is probably a.
It's big. It's bigger than Terra Nova, though.
Budget-wise, I don't think so.
Budget-wise, no.
But that's what I mean. That's the thing. It's.
I don't know what the negotiations are for that, because I don't know how many rights NBC has to it. That's the problem.
But that's what I mean. Like, I think Netflix, if they were willing to get buy the rights and stuff from NBC.
It'd be a lot. I think NBC knows what they have.
But
They're
I think
being complete dicks about it.
I think Netflix would be okay with buying Firefly if they knew that.
Oh, Fox is
like,
not letting that go ever.
But they would let it go for money.
They would.
Like enough money, and you know that.
Netflix would go poor though.
But they'd make all their money back in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, but
New Firefly series premiering only on Netflix. Pay $8 a month. The first like influx of people would pay for. That's what I mean. I think if it's worth.
I think you're gonna have to find, because Firefly just isn't the same without the cast again.
And that's why they haven't bought it.
So.
Otherwise, Netflix would have, like, you know,
Like,
they can't get Joss Whedon back and they can't get the cast
If
back.
they can get Dan Harmon, Netflix could probably get Dan Harmon.
But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, like, if Netflix could go to Dan Harmon and go, if we bought the show from NBC, which is going to cost us a ton of money.
Don't worry about that.
Can you make episodes for
us
this much money? And he'd go, yeah.
Or whatever he wants to say, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine him being too busy right now.
And I can't imagine him not wanting to come back to Community, especially with someone as open as Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, Netflix doesn't care about your viewer rating.
Yeah. They just care.
They care about subscription.
Yeah, as dirty as it sounds, they care about money, but in a good way.
Yeah, but like, because they don't sit there going, well, only 3 people are watching Community on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, and you're not going to get that.
No.
Yeah, especially, like, they will rotate shows that aren't, you know, and movies that aren't doing quite so well.
Yeah. But I mean, if you can invest in
that's only because they don't have the rights to that. If Netflix has the rights to a show,
they can
because I'm pretty sure that other show that tried to pimp on us, it's still on there somewhere.
Lilyhammer.
That's the one. It's probably still on there somewhere.
Yes.
It's just buried.
It's buried underneath stuff. But I mean, if they bought Community,
it'll be on the top for.
That's what I mean.
But that's a big maybe. Right?
It is.
Because
we
don't know what Netflix or NBC's plans for it is.
And if NBC keeps going with it, that's cool.
Yeah, as long.
But if NBC drops it, I hope someone like Netflix does come in and go.
Even Hulu.
Hulu, if they want to pick it up.
Even Hulu, even though we don't get it, it would still be big.
Yes. But that's what I mean. If anybody picks it up, it's going to be a hit if you can get everybody back. And it like I said, it depends on budgets and costs and all that stuff. Because you know, I don't know how much Chevy
And
Chase
a lot of those actors don't really do anything else. Like other than Ken Jeong and Alison Brie. They don't. I haven't seen any of the other guys in anything else.
Well, Chevy Chase is Chevy. Chevy Chase doesn't have to work.
He doesn't. He's so rich.
He works for fun. So, like, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know how much you have to pay these actors to do this, but you know, it can't be overly expensive for a half-hour sitcom or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I have no idea.
So
what it takes to produce a movie or a show like that.
I believe a half-hour sitcom, from what I was reading, was $800,000 an episode, and that's for the big ones. So like you have to
$500,000 for an episode of Community.
That's what I mean. So all of a sudden, if your actors are willing to take a little bit of a pay cut to continue making this show.
Yeah, but the thing that makes Community unique is sort of the background of the show as well. I mean, you have the random characters in there, and then you have the crowd audience. Do you think Netflix will be able to do that again?
I think so.
So that's the thing. Who knows?
That's what I mean. Like, I'd like to if NBC drops Community, I'd really
also,
like to
as far as we know,
pick it up.
As far as we know, all the extras in Community are just like from other NBC shows or NBC extra pools or whatever like that.
Yeah. But I mean, Abed could for one season have the session with like Lilyhammer.
I would be interested to have like a Troy and Abed spinoff.
Yeah, that could
on
almost
Netflix.
work. They'd have to go together.
Yes, they would.
Because we've all seen what happens when Joey leaves Chandler. So.
Yes. But yeah, a Troy and Abed show on Netflix, some sort of like spinoff.
Could almost work.
And then have the other guys just come in periodically, like, are you guys being meta?
Well, and I mean, obviously, like, these people love Community, the actors on it, because during that hiatus, that was like a mystery as to what was happening.
Yeah.
They all kept showing up on The Soup.
Yeah, The Soup. I watched that episode. That was such a good episode.
But that's what I mean. Like, they all kept popping up
they hang out with each other.
Yeah. So for like 3 weeks, they just kept popping up on this. Like, you know, not all of them at once.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, someone
would be like Danny or Donald Glover, and then the other week will be
Danny Pudi. Yeah. They would just show up on The Soup, and you know they're not getting paid a fortune to be on The Soup.
what are you doing today, guys?
Yeah.
What do you
Well, we're not filming, so
mm.
I'll just come and hang out. And it said like I was reading one weird little like, you know, here's a fact, but Alison Brie and like Danny Pudi are best friends in real life kind of thing.
I can imagine them all being. Really
But that's what I mean.
friends.
I can imagine them all being really close.
And then like, then we work with Jeffrey Chase.
And bow to the god of comedy. So, yes. Site news is really bare this week. You started off with Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter live action.
Did you watch it?
I did not.
Okay. It's choreographed well. There's special effects. There's trees. Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. You can actually vote, although I'm pretty sure the voting's done to see who wins at the end of the video.
Ooh.
So, my vote is Ryu. But
obviously. That's a given. No question this week.
No.
Just with school starting. No hump day humor this week. Just with school starting. Thursday. I finally got my button gear and didn't fall asleep while I was trying to write something. Tony Hawk Pro Skater HD.
Heard it's a good game.
It's awesome.
Heard it's great.
They took 7 maps from the first one, 7 maps from the second one.
And then just kind of mashed them with HDness.
And again, because while I was writing my review and looking for pictures and all that stuff, people have done the whole like, here's the old stuff, here's the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The difference.
Well, yeah, those
The
games.
time that these guys have put into this HD remake, again, is what people should be doing for HD games.
Oh yeah.
Like, again, you have to think, this was a PlayStation 1 game.
Almost N64 too.
It was on the N64.
Too, so.
So it was on the N64 and PlayStation 1, and to bring it to where it is now, it's just like...
Yeah, you can't just, up-res the graphics or anything. You gotta rebuild the engine,
and
rebuild your character models.
Yeah, you have to pretty much rebuild
while keeping...
the core mechanics.
Yeah,
like the feel of it all. There is DLC coming out. It has been announced.
Oh, good.
More levels and just some extra boarding moves that they threw in. They're taking stuff from 3.
Mm-hmm.
So not like crazy gravity and oh my god, the stuff that people started complaining about, but just different little tweaks and reverses and this and that you can't do in 1 and 2 that they added in 3. So
that's good.
So that the DLC is bringing in elements of 3. So
we'll see what happens. And now it was only on PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360.
It is now on PlayStation 3.
So
that's why I finally reviewed it, because everybody can get it, except Wii users, obviously. But and the PS3 is lacking on the avatar as your skateboarder. That's
just PlayStation thing. They've never let their home avatars outside of home.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a fun gimmicky thing. It's
not really.
It's not like your gameplay experience is going to go way downhill because of it. I just found it to be like a tee.
It's a treat.
Yeah.
And for $15.
Right.
You're not gonna go wrong.
No. So, good game. Tony Hawk finally got its magic back.
Yep.
Only a bajillion years later.
Yeah, and it happens to be the same game.
Shh.
So, more Tony Hawk?
You know what, if they released another like full-on $60 Tony Hawk game
that
looked like this and played like this, but had way more like an open world even again,
and different levels.
Yes.
Pushing story. I don't think the story would be necessary in Tony Hawk game.
I didn't mind.
Maybe as a $40 game with no story.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I can
Just
buy into that.
You don't need to record voices or have any.
And I didn't even mind the original stories that they started coming up with.
I had a problem. You can't make a skateboarding game story.
But it was just even like, these guys are stepping in on our stuff. We gotta raise money to.
Yeah.
It's like dance movies. We gotta win this big competition to get the money to pay for our park back or something. So.
Something silly.
And that's what I mean. It can be stupid and convoluted as like, oh, the city's gonna try and buy our skate park and turn it into a giant high-rise. Mm-hmm. We have to like go into all these competitions to raise money, and that gives you a bit of a leveling, you can.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean.
Well, maybe maybe if enough people buy it, they'll be like, hey.
Well, there is thought
Yeah.
because of the reception that they've received and the amount of people buying it. They're kind of like, okay, people
like the old games.
like the old ones where things weren't stupid. Maybe we should work on this more.
We might have an old gem with us.
Yeah, well, I mean that's why they're working on DLC. So. Either who, Friday.
The Other Guys hit Netflix in Canada.
Yes, it did.
It's a silly buddy cop movie with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. I don't usually like Mark Wahlberg in any kind of things, but when he does comedy roles, so good.
I think because he's done the tough guy so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I loved him in Ted.
Yep.
And that was just because the writing was really well done in that too. But in The Other Guys, the combination with him and Will Ferrell it's just so good. Because Will Ferrell pretty much does like if you watched his internet skits before, he pretty much plays that kind of character, but as a cop.
Right.
And watching him butt heads with each other is just so funny. It's nothing. I'm not gonna remember anything about the movie, and as far as like, oh man, the part when they did this, there's nothing really memorable about it.
Yeah, and this is not.
It's just worth just watching. Like, okay, that's a good waste of an hour, 40 minutes.
Because when this movie came out, it wasn't like people coming out of theaters with that one-liner.
Yeah, it was.
It starts annoying the living poop out of me.
Yeah.
People come out of theaters and they're like, here's this one line over and over and over and.
Expendables had that problem. Not problem, but it was just funny the way they did it.
But yeah, I mean
that movie's all one-liners.
That's tongue in cheek, but like how a comedy comes out with something, like where dude, where's my car?
Oh yeah.
People come out of the theater. It's like, dude, where's my car? Dude, pow. I stood outside theaters and throttled people, but.
Yeah, that's a terrible movie.
But that's what I mean. Like people come out of comedies and they have that line.
Yeah. This movie doesn't really have any of those scenes in it. Like, there are scenes that I will try to remember.
But you probably won't.
Yeah, I've got better comedies to watch in my time, with my time. So it's still worthwhile watching, but, if you're going to try and buy it on DVD, maybe...
Just watch it on Netflix.
Netflix is the best way to do it, I mean. And it just got on there for the Canadian users, so if you're looking for it.
So did The Haunting. I'm very excited to actually sit down and watch that.
Which one was that one again?
Catherine Zeta-Jones, Liam Neeson, Owen Wilson.
Oh, right, you said Liam Neeson, that's right. Is it called The Haunting?
It's called The Haunting. It was before, like, The Haunting of Emily Rose and all those other ones. This was The Haunting. It has nothing to do with real life anything. It is a haunted house movie.
Oh, goody.
Like, it is a research guy, Liam Neeson, takes 3 insomniacs, Catherine Zeta-Jones, the chick whose name I can't remember, and Owen Wilson, out into the middle of nowhere, countryside, big manor, into this old house, and spooky stuff starts happening to him. And I mean, parts are over the top, and when I was younger I really liked it, but you kind of watch it now and you go, why? But I mean, it's kind of Paranormal Activity-ish where, Catherine Zeta-Jones and this girl are in a room together, and all of a sudden there's like a loud bang, and they're like, what was that? And all of a sudden the doors start like, shaking, and they hear like footsteps outside the door, like running, like if there was, a 300-pound guy running through the hallway, and the door is still shaking, and the air gets cold. And
so your horror movie cliches.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty well done when I was younger, and I mean I was watching it again. Parts of it are corny, but
we'll have to keep an eye out.
Yeah. So, and I mean the house slowly kind of it gets rid of people that aren't important to the story all on its own, and there's the creepy caretakers who are right at the beginning, and they do the whole, we don't come here at night. No one comes here at night. Once the dark comes, you're all on your own. Like no one from the village will come to find you people, and it's like...
Well, that's nice.
Like they literally set it up and you go, wow, I wonder what's going to happen when the sun goes down.
Too bad.
Yeah. So, and the way the story unravels, I liked back then too. So, and I mean, Liam Neeson, Owen Wilson, Catherine Zeta-Jones.
That's an interesting combination.
And I'm not a Catherine Zeta-Jones fan, but she plays pretty much herself. Like she plays a stuck-up rich person.
Okay.
So.
Well, Does Liam Neeson play kick-ass badass?
Nope, he is just
a scientist.
He's a research guy who's got a really nice accent.
Yes, his British accent.
Yeah.
I almost forget that.
He's got his accent, so he's like the reassuring, like, I'm the doctor and this is just an experiment and you guys are just... That's his character. He's the, like, guys, I'm just putting you through tests and trials. The stuff you're seeing, it's just all psychosis. And then stuff starts happening and he's like, oh, balls. Like...
Now I gotta watch that movie.
So.
Cool.
And Owen Wilson plays...
Owen Wilson.
A charismatic idiot.
So, like, from Zoolander.
Yeah, he's essentially like the stoner in a horror movie without drugs. Because Owen Wilson doesn't need drugs. No. That's just Owen Wilson, so...
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he bumps into the girls right off the bat, and he's like, hey, what's up? And then he tries hitting on Catherine Zeta-Jones the whole movie.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, like, that's what I mean. Like, you get all of your little cliches in there, but at the same time, I kind of dig the haunted house story.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to all of these haunting movies where this person gets possessed and we're trying to make The Exorcist again, but different. So, either way.
Mm-hmm. That's it for now?
Yes. Next week?
Same time, same place.
Yes. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Stay
and
tuned.
We're gonna get sued. Bye.
No, we're not. Don't get sued.
No suing. We don't have money.
I have this.
No, you don't.
No, I have.
You can have this shirt.
No, I like this shirt.
I have another one. Well, no, you can have my other one. Because it's too big for me. I use it to sleep. Good night.